I realized that these things just keep coming. Things that have been locked up inside of me, they just keep pouring out, and I know where it's coming from. So I want to, this is just me pouring cold water on the ground for you, setting the pace and telling you to relax. Just relax. You are in for a great time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I see you all telling us where you are coming from or where you're joining us from. Thank you so much. So I'm also going to call someone else to share their FSEC experience. I'm going to call Pastor Sheun Ogundele. I believe you are here, sir. Pastor Sheun Ogundele. If you are here, please, admin, kindly unmute.
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, you are welcome. Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, God bless you. Yeah, so good evening to everyone. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, whichever time of the day you are. Well, I sincerely want to appreciate everybody for joining this program today. My name is Pastor Sheun Ogundelu. Ogundelu is my surname, not Ogundele, please. Ogundelu, Pastor Sheun Ogundelu. Well, by the special grace of God, I just graduated yesterday from the Family System Engineering certification course. And it has actually been a worthwhile experience for me. It has actually been a worthwhile experience for me. I remembered at the beginning of this year, my HR manager walked up to me and asked me that, Pastor Sheun, what training would you want us to schedule for you this year? Because that has been our regular custom and tradition in my church, where I serve and where I work. So when she walked up to me and asked me for the certification I would love to engage in this year, I specifically chose this particular one, Family System Engineering certification course. And she asked me why. I said, that is what I want. I saw the need for me to do this particular course because before now, I have actually done Christian counseling courses, and during my practice being a pastor, I noticed that a lot of people gravitated towards me. You see a lot of singles that want to get married in my church. They will specifically mention that it is me. They want me to be their counselor. So I began to look inward, and even married couples too, who are going through one challenge or another, they will tell you that, oh, they want me to be their counselor. So I began to look inward. What is it about me that is making people to be drawn to me, that is making them to want me to be their counselor? So that actually made me to want to know more and to me to earn my skill, even as a practitioner and as a counselor, as a and a life coach. So that was what made me to choose this. And ever since I chose this particular course, I must be sincere with you, it has actually been a worthwhile experience for me. Now, because the very first thing, I think the first two classes we had was about understanding humanity. And Priest Fowe was actually helping us to, to understand humanity. And there were some questions he posed, and those questions set me thinking because, for me being a church person, I've always been a church person all my life. I've always been seeing the word in a particular, lens, from a particular worldview. But he questioned some of our beliefs, and that actually jolted me to reality, and it made me to be, I was beginning to question most of the things I've believed. And, it hit me in a way because as a pastor and also as a counselor, as a life coach, it helped me to be able to appreciate people and to understand, what made them to be who they were, because everybody have a story, everybody have a story, everybody's coming from somewhere, and all of that. So it helped me to be able to appreciate humanity and to be able to understand what makes everybody tick. And the fact that you cannot divorce somebody from their root, from their past, and all of that. So now going through the courses one after the other, there was a particular time we were made to, do jar of life, triangle of life, all those things. In fact, it was really, really a wonderful time for me because I had to, look inward. I had to look back. I was able to unearth some of the things, some of the limitations, some of the belief that I had, limiting belief that I held me down even before now. And to the glory of God, I was able to at least have another meaning to them, because according to Priest Fowe, he said, life is all about meanings, about interpretation that you give to sin. So I began to look at them. And I also remember there was one of those classes where Dima was telling us that we should say nice things about ourselves. In that class, she actually told all of us to write some things about ourselves. and then we should verbalize it. And it was really a nice time for me. After that experience, I began to see myself in a new light. It helped me, it showed up my self-esteem, and it made me to appreciate myself, all my limitations. In fact, there was a particular class also where she said that you should forgive yourself, pat yourself at the back, and tell yourself that if you knew better, you would have acted better. That was another therapeutic period for me. It was wonderful. Then again, now going into practice, don't forget what I said. I've always been a counselor, but then I was introduced to Oyela tools, all those analysis and all of that. Okay, let me just give you a very good example. Now, I was counseling a particular couple before I started the course. It has always been back and forth, a lot of time wasted, a lot of, and all of that. So, but when when I had those Oyela tool, what I did was just to administer it to them. And it was as if there was a clarity, there was an eureka moment. And I was able to analyze, I was able to tell the couple, and that was it for me. Because all this while we've been dilly-dallying, trying to use, native intelligence, native wisdom. And, being a pastor, there's a kind of limitation. You have to be churchy, you have to use Bible. But when I used those Oyela tools for them, it was so clear. I was able to help them, and to the glory of God, the two of them, as in the couple, they are doing fantastically well. And also, I also remember that there was a particular couple I was actually counseling. Most of my counseling sessions are usually virtual. So I was engaging them, asking them questions, administer the Oyela tool for them. And not knowing that at the other end, there was actually a pastor from the deeper life. Now, what really happened was that this lady happened to be a member of my church. So she was in her own apartment. Her dad was with her. I didn't know, because I only saw her, not knowing that her dad, who happened to be a marriage counselor in deeper life, and also a pastor, was with her. So while I was doing all of that, so at the end of the day, the father actually showed his face, and he said, "Wow, this is a robust counseling session." And the man was, through his online medium, trying to appreciate me and saying that this is good, this is wonderful, that the daughter was going to have a happy home with all the things I've been able to take her through, and the other guy. So I think for me, this has actually been a wonderful experience of my life. The money spent is not really wasted money, and the time spent is also not wasted. And also, above all, I've been able to meet a lot of friends, all wonderful people. And for me, it has this cool, family system engineering course, certification course, has actually earned my skill, and it has created an hunger in me. And also, I must say this, my mentor, Mr. Juwo Odutayo, that man has been wonderful. Each time he has session with us, he has been like a catalyst, trying to fuel that passion in us, making us see reasons why we should desire more, and why we should dive out and be a blessing to people. So it has actually been a worthwhile time. And for me, no regrets at all. I believe that this is just the beginning. And for me, as a pastor, a practicing family life person, thank you very much. God bless you. I'm sure this has been a worthwhile time. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Sheung. Thank you so much for that wonderful testimonial. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I can feel I feel your vibe, because I know you can't go through ESSEC and not, speak this way. It's actually even better experience. And honestly, the fee you are paying is nothing compared to the knowledge that you would glean from this program. Thank you so much, sir. And to our YouTube participants, to everyone joining on YouTube, we acknowledge your presence. Thank you so much for joining us. We see you. Welcome. So I'm going to bring up, and okay, before I bring up the Grandmaster himself, I want you to share this link. Share it. We are needed in this society. We are needed. We are not even enough. We cannot service everyone that needs our services, right? So please share this link. There are many people who should be here. They don't even know that they have a calling in this. But when they have the opportunity to be exposed to the knowledge we are going to be gleaning from this session, I mean, there's going to be a lot of liberation. Their minds will be open to see the possibilities. So please do not learn alone. I want you to share the YouTube link even the Zoom link so that we can have more people joining us. Thank you so much, everyone. I am going to be bringing up, I don't know how to introduce him. Sometimes I look at him and I'm like, what wisdom is this? Honestly, when you get into FSEC, you understand what I'm talking about better. So with a warm welcome in the chat, I want to bring up the Grandmaster himself, Praise for Wowe, popularly known as PF, our daddy. You are welcome. Please let us acknowledge his presence in the chat. I want to feel the buzz in the chat. I want to see all the fire emojis. Please make welcome the Grandmaster. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening from here. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Good morning. Okay, it's afternoon here already. It's noon here from Dallas, Texas. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Africa, or wherever you're joining us from. I am super excited to be leading day one of this boot camp, and I'm super excited. I believe your life is never going to remain the same. You know how we do our sessions. If you guys don't dance, I am not going to run this class. So Africa, wherever you are, you know we dance. So I am going to play music for you like I normally would love to play. And then we're going to dance for about 5 minutes. And then we will get ready to roll. Are you guys ready? I can feel the fire and the energy. Okay, so let's go. We are Africa. Let's go. Put on your videos. I want to see you.
African big boys, come out and play. JJC, we don't die, we multiply. You wanna mess with me, right? Say hello to my little friend, Africans. This one is a remix. Make couple calls doing me a remix. Couple guys sit it down for the remix. This is the African Unite remix. Yo, if you got money in the bag, let me see your African sky. Tribal sky, migrant sky. Ha, they're all African sky.
I'm an African, yes I am. Like Obama, yes we can. Be what? President of your country, understand. Make way we coming through. With my people, not that clan. I got a master plan, we will never fall, united we stand.
We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Come on, Africans. Yeah, we are Africans. I can't hear you. We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Come on, Africans.
I'm so proud that you can see I'm an African Nubian queen with a Jamaican mix. Watch me move my body and swing my hips. Ay, sweet with ebony lips. Vibes you can never eclipse. If you wanna be African, let me give you a tip. Scream it out.
Okay. Back in the days, want to go a little. Now we're taking it back. Oh, I'm being wanna go down and see him. I you, and I'm saying to my boom, my animal. Got strength from my bicep like Tyson. Still full of my culture and in Bolton. Well, I know like a rude, they love me like an woman. The Leo.
We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Yeah, we are Africans. I can't hear you. We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Come on, Africans.
Balini, carry me. Over the ocean and over the sea. When I reach overseas, see waiting I see. We are warriors, we are one to the storm and turbulence. So many don't know about the lingo. Why my dogs see screaming out the window.
From the get-go, crude oil in the petrol. And for the slaves to pass down, man, with rep bills. I'm an African everywhere I get low. Milk that when it's all done, we'll let go. Be the best, y'all, we keep it easy. Not too much skills, too much of easy. So best believe that at the top of the range where we at, we're still helping out that rehab.
We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Come on, Africans. Yeah, we are Africans. I can't hear you. We are Africans. Louder. We are Africans. Come on, Africans.
We are so far leading by far. This is bizarre. Trying to Usain Bolt our culture. Muhammad Ali, the industry. Tiger Woods, Buck Paul till I'm out the hood. I handle them like Hamilton. No mistakes, no breaks, two hands, too good. Break another record. Add a little truth for the record. DJ in the booth, put the needle on the record. Watch as I wreck it. Let me hear who for the record. African Caribbean mix.
Okay. Put your hands together for yourself. Put your hands together for yourself. Put your hands together for yourself. Thank you. All the people joined me to dance. Okay, some people didn't join to dance. But I want to welcome all of you to this meeting. You have a few minutes with me, and your life is not going to remain the same. I want to appreciate all of you who have joined this meeting. For those of you on YouTube, I want to say thank you for joining us. For those of you right here with me in the room, thank you for joining us. I want to believe the moments we're going to spend together is going to totally transform your life. Thank you very much, Sandra. And thank you, Pastor Sheon, for what you have shared, with us, your testimonials, and everyone who shared their testimony. I am super excited about Africa and what Africa holds for the rest of the world. I always cringe when I see Africans fight themselves because I don't know who a Nigerian, who a Cameroonian, who a Ghanaian or a South African is. Everywhere I walk, and I've walked in almost all the major continents of the world, I have practiced in almost all the top cultures of the world. I wear my Africa in my sleeves. I wear it on my chest. Once I see a black man, I know that's my brother. And the next thing I want to do is to just support and to help. And because I know that the day Africa decides to unite and Africa decides to rise, it's game over. And until then, our world may not really experience the desired peace because we are the only group of people who are naturally hospitable. We are the only group of people that we entertain strangers and we give them the best places in our continent. That's who we are. We are the only people who believe in Ubuntu. I am because you are. And that's why Africa is the past, Africa is the present, and Africa is going to be the future. So I am super excited to be an African, and I'm excited that I'm in the room. Now we are going to have a great time today, day one of our SOAR. And I believe that tomorrow you're going to have a great time with Dima. Now, we are doing the new rules of family life practice. Why the new rules? Gone are the days when if you're a family life professional, you will have to sit down and listen to couple A and couple B. That's all. Listen to husband and wife. That's if they agree to come for counseling, right? Because these days, a lot of men don't even want to come. But now, what it used to take us 2 hours to do, some of us do it in less than 15 minutes. Accurate diagnosis of cases, and then we create intervention. I have worked with people who have been in therapy for 7 years in America, and I have resolved their issues in less than 4 weeks. And so I know that this model works. So at the end of this session in 2 days, you would have discovered the opportunities that exist in the family life space. You would have understood the 7 reasons why family life practitioners struggle, especially if you are here, you don't know how to make money from your practice. You would have learned the 6 sabotaging beliefs you need to uninstall, 5 of the top 10 new rules of family life practice that can transform your practice and the best template to accelerate your success rate across the globe. Now, I am not sharing what has not worked for me. I'm going to be sharing stories, facts, and figures with you, and I believe it's going to transform you. So if you are sitting where something is likely going to distract you within the next 1 hour thereabout, please take that thing off. If it's your TV, put it off. If your laptop, put it off. Whatever is going to likely distract you from hearing the most important thing you need to hear in this session, take it out, right? And you want to change your Zoom name, to what you're comfortable with me calling you. I don't want to see iPhone 5, iPhone 6, or Techno 9, or something like that. Put a name. If you want to be referred to based on your title, maybe Dr. Sheg, or Kumalu, or something like that. Or it's, Gang, whatever it is, whatever name you want to call you, make sure you put it on your Zoom. Then choose a super critic for yourself within yourself, right? To say that all through the sessions today and tomorrow, I am going to be brutally honest with myself. I am not going to lie to myself, and I'm going to do what is needed to ensure that I transform my life. Now, so this is what we're going to do. Every time I am having the session, this is a practitioner session, by the way. You are here because you are doing one counseling or the other in one form or the other, whether your church, your mosque, or you're doing it in your school, or you're doing it in the society, but at least people are coming to you, maybe for advice, maybe for counseling. That's why you're here. So I want you to say, to read this together with me as we start. Are you ready? 1 to go. I am worthy of whatever I desire to earn from the incredible value I had to humanity. I deserve much more than I charge because I save lives every day, much more than the world can imagine. My clients attain clarity and achieve their desired result, while I also achieve my financial goals. I'm a family life coach and I keep the world happy. You know, when people ask you, what do? You tell them you keep the world happy. Without you, the world will be in chaos. The only reason the world is surviving, existing, the only reason the world is still moving and people are still smiling is because of you. And you cannot look down on what you do, regardless of the nation you found yourself. I'm not going to start a session without telling you my story. So my life started as a pastor's kid. I was born in the Anglican Communion. My dad was an Anglican priest. And so as a little kid, I saw my father, people would come to him for counseling, and I would be interjecting, trying to get involved. And then my father would give me a knock and send me away. And so I had to leave, and I felt maybe I wasn't needed. But at the age of 4, I'd been a victim of child sexual abuse. That ran for like 8 years. At the age of 12, I totally lost control of myself. As a teenager, I was what you could call a sex addict. I mean, I'd lost confidence in myself. I'd started smoking. I was doing all sorts of things. You know, I'd gotten on campus to study accounting. And then from year 2, I knew I wasn't going to practice as an accountant, because from year 2, you know, everybody came to me who wanted, in my department, who wanted to ask a girl out. They would come and ask me, what do we say to that girl? And then the girl would come back to me to say, what do I say to that guy? And so I found myself studying more of books on psychology than accounting, right? But I was already in the accounting department, so I had to, graduate. But people came to me more for counseling. I rescued a lot of ladies who were in an abusive relationship, and that was what I was doing with my life. Then by the time I remember my final paper in university, that was 2000. I think it was April. It was the cost taxation. I was the first to run out of the exam because for me, it was freedom and liberty. You know, the way Nelson Mandela emerged from prison, you know, it was the way I ran out, as if I was freed from a prison. And I looked forward to my future, and I knew I wanted to do something on family life practice. Now, what school would I go? I started looking for schools to know if there's any school that offered family science in Nigeria. There was none. No university offered any major course on family science. Now, I wanted to go to the US because I saw some courses there. Then my father died. The moment my father passed, I mean, there was no way, even with my father alive, I wasn't sure if he was going to sponsor me. I knew it was game over. But then I looked for the next alternative to say, who are the people doing relationship in Nigeria that I could follow? So I went to work for late Mrs. Bimbo Odukoya. I mean, just went to a church. By then, I'd seen some teenagers prostituting, and I was taking them back home. You know, I was toasting them literally. I didn't have money. I was taking them back to their family. I had such a convincing power. And then Pastor Bimbo Odukoya, late Bimbo Odukoya, hired me. She was doing Single and Married. And so I became the editor, you know, producing the tapes, producing the CDs, and whatever for herself and her husband. And then I saw a man on TV, Jerome. Jerome was an NTA network service. It was very good with analyzing personalities and stuff. So I went to him to say, oh, let me learn from you. And then the first root shock I had was that Jerome taught me nothing for like 6 months. But I kept going. I kept asking him, sir, you got to teach me this. It's a matter of life and death. Then one day, Jerome looked at me, gave me a book, and said everything you need is in that book. However, what many people don't know is that I'm from Benin Republic and I'm going back home. But then all the platforms that used to have me, I've told them that you can do a good job. And that's how I found myself on TV and started writing for this day newspaper. I had a column for 10 years. But then I still wanted to do this thing, you know, professionally beyond what many of us were doing that we call native intelligence, where people will come and sit with you. I mean, those days, people were sitting with me. I was charging 20,000 naira per session. This was 2006, 2007. 20,000 naira was what I was charging per session. A session is 1 hour. But then, you know, Africans, they will come for my session and then they would say to me, are you married? And when they knew I wasn't married, you know, they didn't even know that it was a profession. They just believed that your marital success was what qualified you to help people. And so I had to begin to wear a ring just to get that question off their mind, you know. And so that was how it started for me. And then after a while, I wanted to find out, since I couldn't travel, no university I knew offered family science. What do we do to create a family life space and standardize the industry and do a data-driven solution that can help our people? So I decided to study 25 couples who had done 40 years and above in their marriage to know how did they do it, what did they do right, what did they do wrong, so that I can build it into a framework. By then I'd gone, you know, I'd started hearing about neuro-linguistic programming, you know, and I knew about it online, you know, so I saw the way Tony Robbins did his thing, and I felt, okay, since there's no score, I could actually create something. Now, I started looking for these people. My mother was so gracious. She introduced me to some of them. And then I met some of these people and I was asking them, how did your marriage, how did you do 40 years in marriage? Because I'd seen a lot of divorce happen. And many of them told me it was prayers, that you have to be prayerful, you have to be patient. I knew it was more than that because I knew people were prayerful. I knew pastors who had gone through divorce. I knew it must be more than prayer. So I asked for permission to study them over a period of time. So I was studying them and I was taking notes. I was recording what I was studying, observing. I had a cousin, you know, who had a studio. So I'll go to his studio and I'll record whatever I was observing from these couples. And so I put with my team, we put together a solution, you know, that was data-driven, a framework that we felt anybody who goes through this framework can literally predict the future and create a, you know, and can create whatever outcome they want in the marriage. But then there was the problem. How do you sell it? So I kept it. I told the team, we can't sell it. They're not going to buy it. Because Africa was crazy about, that was when American certified started coming in, UK certified. But then our people didn't know that they were just being swindled because no nation certifies people. It is institutions within those nations that can certify you. So there's nothing like UK certification or American certification. There are schools in America that can certify you. But our people were just crazy about brandishing American certified and UK certified. And so I felt we had no chance. Fortunately for me, I joined the Family Life Coaching Association in America, and then I managed to get US visa. By then, I didn't really feel like going back to school. And because, I mean, I was doing very well in Nigeria. I was making good money. By then, I mean, people were coming to me. I was super busy, traveling everywhere, different African countries, delivering seminars and what have you, you know. So I was already known in the sector and I was trying to organize the sector. And so I thought, since American certification was trending, let me go to America and look for a university or an institute to collaborate with so that I can bring our solution back to Nigeria as African certification. I mean, as American certification, and see that we make a lot of money. But I had a mentor who was in the Bahamas before he passed on. He was in America. So I went to see him. And I said, sir, I'm here because I have this solution that we worked on for Africans and Black people generally. And I thought it was very unique and original and it will really work. You know, but the problem is Africans love American certification. I said, okay, I'm looking for a school. Can you recommend me to a school that can collaborate with us so that we bring this back to Africa as American certification? My mentor looked at it, smiled at me, and he said, Praise, can you share with me what this model is all about? So I took him through the entire model, and my mentor, you know, sank deep on this chair. And he said to me, he said, son, you know, I'm well-traveled. I said, yes. He said, I have never seen a model as complete as what you just shared with me. He said, so two things. You can either go for their certification, but then you would have subjected what I thought was authentic to what they have, and they're going to water it down. Or you can as well take it back to Africa and begin to teach it, right? And hope that it trends with time and it scales. right? So I thought about it. I said that the second option will be slower, but by the time it catches fire, it will go global. So I took the second option, came back to Africa, and then I sat down one day and I had one or two of my mentees came to meet me and said, Praise, everybody talks about what you do and how you do your own counseling and coaching. How come you are more effective than all of us? Is there something that you are doing that we need to know? So I said to them, if you can get 10 of you into a room, some of us, we took NLP together. So if you can get 10 of you into a room, I will teach you what I know for 7 days. And so they got 16 of them, paid 60,000 naira years ago, and then took them through what I had discovered in the field. Now, by the second or third day, many of them were asking for Panadol or Tylenol, in case you're an American and you're listening to this. They were asking for, because they were having headache. I mean, there was someone who literally dropped out of class because the information she said to me, she said, Praise, it's almost as if I was not living. It was as if I was a dead soul. There was a pastor who had come in from Enugu, Pastor Edwin, who said he had never had the things he had in class, and he had become very, very effective. There was a general overseer who came to class, and it was like, where did you guys get this from? I mean, we're having people come to class, and then that was how it started. And the moment it started, many of the people will graduate, they will go, and they will realize that they are the best in the sector. Some of them started traveling abroad, and then people were asking them, where did you train? How did you know these things? In fact, when I eventually make the presentation of our approach at the Global Conference of Family Life Coaching Association Conference in the US, Raleigh, North Carolina, the president of the association then came out and he said, this is the only model she had ever seen that combines coaching with strategy, with therapy, and systems intelligence, 4-in-1. And why did we do it that way? We believed that when a client comes to you and they narrate their story to you, what we usually do is, by the time you realize that the story requires some therapy, you refer them to someone else. If they require systems, intelligence, or strategy, you refer them to someone else. So the person has to go and share their story again with like 4 different people, and human nature, naturally, they don't like that. So what we did is to collapse 4 different frameworks into one that makes it very easy for you to be a one-stop shop that can literally solve people's problem and take them to wellness, especially diagnosing their cases accurately without them speaking to you. And so I personally became effective, and that was what I did full-time. I would sit, deliver lectures, I will psychoanalyze people. Every of my clients will come back with gratitude. How did you know? Are you a prophet? No, I say it's data. So we started mining the data. Since then, we've set up the family life industry in Nigeria. There were people that started with me who were struggling to sell their practice. I tracked some of them, mentored some of them. I know some of them today who do over 100 million from this practice. I know some of them who do 30, 40, 50 million, 60 million, 70 million from this practice. I mean, it was almost impossible. I know someone whose husband had to cook from his house and brought it to my house in Lagos, Nigeria, because it was like, what did you do to my wife? She's making money. And I said, well, it's because we have a new model that works. I look at some of the top people in the sector right now across different nations of the world, and I realized that there were people that passed through our system. And so I have looked at my life. I have moved from Africa. I've lived in the UK. I've lived in Canada. I'm presently in America. How did I get to America? America has a visa called O1 visa. O1 visa is a special talent visa. And O1 visa gives you 3 years to replicate whatever you said you were doing in Africa, in America. If you can do it in 3 years, then they will give you a green card. And so, unfortunately for me, when my O1 was approved, to approve O1, they need to look at everything you've done to be sure that it passes the framework. And then, by the time I got to America, before I got to America, COVID had struck. I lost 1.5 years in Africa. By the time I got to America, I had 1.5 years left to prove that what I had could work. I proved it in 1 year, and then I got my green card. And so I know that this model works. I have seen my life become transformed. I've seen clients pay $10,000 for sessions and stuff like that. And so I always say to people that, you see, it's not so much about whatever certificate you carry, it's much about your competence and ability to deliver results. I have worked, consulted for nations, consulted for presidents, consulted for governors, right? I mean, Lagos state government passed into law that you needed to do premarital counseling before you got married. I mean, they reached out to me. I was in Dallas to say, oh, we need a curriculum. I put a curriculum together, flew to Africa, trained all the registrars. That's the curriculum they use right now. So I know our model works. The last set we had Black Americans in class. We have people from various nations of African countries now taking family STEM engineering certification program. And I look back. And one thing I have realized, and this has taught me, is that Africa has got what can work. We only need to believe in our solution, because the whites don't understand us. I mean, with due respect to everything they've done very well, but they don't understand the nuances and the idiosyncrasies of the African man. We do, and that is why we believe that our model works everywhere. In fact, the good thing is that the model we practice and we use is now being used among the Asians and among the Hispanics right now, and it also works. And so you can literally see my life becoming transformed, right? I mean, I don't do any other business. Family life is all I do. And so when I go to America and they say, oh, if you're making a lot of money, you would do like, the $8,000 in a year. I just smiled, because I was doing more than that figure in Africa before I even moved to America. So I know that this works, but then you need to understand what you need to do. So if you look at this, I mean, that was me, talking to when we implemented a new framework for the Winners Chapel Church, non-American church. That was really Isaac Oyedepo. And this was me with some of my colleagues, some of the graduates, Lagos state government, have innovated all kinds of solutions, from basic sexual education kits, which is what to teach a child about sex from 18 months to 18 years. That was a viral product that helped a lot of African kids, checkmate sex predators, out of the box parenting matrix, which has now become parenting coaching certification coaching course, family STEM engineering certification, human engineering programming, the new African village coaching methodology, Oyela, which is a psychometry. With Oyela, you don't even need to talk to clients. Once you administer Oyela, 96% of what is wrong with them without them saying anything. You will look like a prophet. In fact, that's why a lot of men now come for sessions, because they're like, who is this person that described me accurately? Ready for life development, virtual mentoring that we now do in the diaspora and within diaspora. So you can see us with some of our colleagues, some of the sessions, the trainings. This was Family Life Coaching Association Conference last year. I was the chairman planning committee. First time they will move it out of North Carolina. It was one of the best, most successful conferences ever held. I mean, you can see that's me with my mayor, in Alvin, Texas, and several things that we have done using this model. Before I go forward, the first thing I want you to do is to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Wherever you are, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. I want you to breathe out. I want you to breathe in, and I want you to breathe out. I want you to take a deeper breath, and I want you to breathe out. I want you to, in your mind, mentally run a trip or a tour around Africa. If you are from Nigeria, take a tour around Nigeria. If you are from Botswana or South Africa, take a tour around your country mentally. How well do you think the families around you are doing? I want you to see faces, see structures. I want you to see the roads, see the leadership in Africa in your mind. I want you to take your mind to Botswana, to Ghana, to Niger, to Libya. Think about South Africa. Think about Swaziland, Eswatini. Think about all the various African leaders. Look at the economy of your nation versus the raw material. Think about the children, the women. Somalia, the pictures you see of children who have not eaten. Look at Mother Africa. And ask yourself, am I called to help Africa get better? I want you to soak it in. I want you to run around a little bit the continent of Africa. Why is our continent not called a developed continent? Why do we have the leaders that we have? And where did they come from? Our family. I want you to ask yourself, what if you can be the change in your nation by transforming the families all around you and teaching them on how to become developed and raise developed children and create a developed society? We'll reflect on that a little bit. If you can feel the burden of Africa and the call, I want you to put your right hand on your chest and say to yourself, I will make a difference from now. I will make a difference and build Africa into a developed continent from the family. Fantastic. Wanted to open your eyes. Okay, good. That's Mother Africa. There is a lot we need to do as a people, right? And so I wanted to follow me on this very important journey today. See, I believe that the day Africa decides to rise, the world will be healed. I mean, I live in the West. I see all kinds of things. And I ask myself, these people, what do they take us for, really? Because our stories have been told wrongly. They always think Africa is undeveloped. No, it's not true. We cannot judge Africa by the misbehavior of the current leadership across African nations. There was an African that was the cradle of civilization. There was, writing in Egypt before America and the rest of the world. That was before even America was developed or discovered, right? There was street lighting in Benin Kingdom before Berlin, before New York, before London. The most sophisticated road was in Benin City. They built a wall. And so when they talk about Africa, it looks like we are visionless. No, our ancestors were visionary. Slave trade did us a whole lot of bad, but we cannot continue to blame slave trade when we are here, we have a break. And I believe the key to the development of Africa is in the family life professional. That we will need to break this wall of, I am from Tanzania, I'm from Cameroon, Ghanaians don't meet with Nigeria, and we are fighting over Jollof while our continent is burning down. When we need to secure the families and create a framework that can produce sensible and awesome leaders. A child that is traumatized, let him become president. He cannot feel empathy for the people. And so if we don't like the leaders we have, then we can take responsibility for the families and transform things from the family. The day you and I decide to rise, that's the day the world becomes ill and you are that African that needs to rise. So let me tell you the reality about our sector. The statistics says, as of today, that in Africa, there is 1.4 mental health worker per 100,000 people. So it means that for every 100,000 people, you only have 1.4 qualified mental health workers. That's less than 2. So let's even say 2 health workers to 100,000 people. How sane can those 2 be? They will begin to have mental health problems themselves. And that's why at the Institute of Family Engineering and Development Africa, one of the things we've decided to do from next year is to ensure we at least raise 1,000 family life professionals in every African countries, at least minimum of 1,000. That's what we've decided to do. So it means we will literally come to some Eastern African countries, and some of them will do them virtually, because we can no longer wait for people to spend 4 years in school and graduate in psychology or psychiatry when already the family is disintegrating. Now, what separates us from the rest of the world isn't just competence issue. I do not believe that the rest of the world is better than us. No, we have our whatever works for us. The only problem is that we have not documented it and we have not systemized it. Our problem is often esteem issues and lack of belief in our solution. And that's why we love the fact that we've had students from South Africa. The last set, I think we had 2 South Africans in class, Cameroon, Botswana, Liberia, Sierra Leone. We are beginning to have students from different parts of the world, in our class. 2 people, Black Americans, joined the last class, right? To say that we need to stop this. How can 100,000 people depend on 2 mental health professionals? What are you doing? What am I doing? Right? And that's why we need to bridge the gap. Now, there is multiple opportunities in the value chain of the family life industry. You can do personal coaching. I do personal coaching. My personal coaching minimum is about $4,000 right now, right? You can do group coaching where you charge people in bulk. You can do organizational employee family assisted program. That's even huge. You can make a lot of money from that. You can do report preparation. You can do deals with government, consulting, intellectual property development. I have products that I license to churches to use, mosques to use, organizations to use. You can do partnerships. You can do not governmental organization. You can do matchmaking. That's a huge market. You can do matchmaking for singles. You can do matchmaking for C-suite, matchmaking for CEOs. You can do marital preparation and response. You can do arts and there are so many things you can do. You can start doing movies, family related movies. You can do child development. You can do family support. The sky is so huge. There are places, in fact, right now, there is blended family coaching system. You can do that. There is so much to do. Every problem you see in Africa is calling your name. But what are you doing about it? Right? And that is why you want to ask yourself, why then are our people struggling? With all these problems, this value chain, numerous, why would someone say, I'm a family life coach, and the person has not made a kobo in 1 year? I know many of us are from churches and we say, you know what, freely have you received, freely have you given, right? And so you are giving it for free, but the question is, who is paying you? Someone is putting your bill, maybe your husband or your wife, someone is putting your bills. What makes you think people are not ready to pay or they are unwilling to pay? Who are the people you have been talking to? I used to be in that space. I would say, you know what, God told me not to charge, because Africans will not pay for it, but it's not true. Africans have paid me 5 million naira. Africans have paid me in dollars in Africa. So I know it's a mindset. And so you have no reason not to earn. You have no reason not to make it in this sector, in this age and time. And so here is the problem. I want you to look at this image, right? And I want you to answer in the chat box. What do you see? Or if you want to answer, you can raise your hand. I might be able to take you. What do you see when you look at this image? And I'll show you what the problem is with some of you. What do you see? And how does this make you feel? Let me see what your answers are on the chat box. For those of you on YouTube, I would like to know your answers as well. Right? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Where are the answers in the chat box? Tell me, okay, Mrs. Olufemi Shogbeson, can you unmute yourself? What do you see? Admin, can you help me unmute her?
Okay, good evening, sir.
What do you see?
I see a lady that is bent over
Okay.
the right side of a car window, and she's dressed like a lady of the night, a prostitute.
A prostitute. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's what you see. Okay, I see a failed family system. Thank you very much. I can see a lady with low self-esteem. Someone is saying indecent dress. Someone said a woman doing exercise. Dr. Joy Godwin. Please, can you unmute yourself? I'm interested in your answer. Dr. Joyce, are you there? Can you unmute? I'd like to engage you a little bit because your answer is totally different, right? Okay, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Please, unmute. Can you speak where you are? Oh, mine. I wish I could engage her. Okay, everybody is saying prostitute, prostitute, failed family training. How did you arrive at this conclusion that she's a harlot? What if this lady just finished having a good time with her husband and her husband is traveling and she quickly ran out of the room to come and have a last final kiss with him before he goes? How did you arrive at prostitute? You can see how many of you have been wired to just be unidirectional the way you analyze issues. And you guys are family life professionals. How can you win this lady over? How can you walk with her when your conclusion is she's a prostitute, a lady of the night, a failed family system? What if this was happening in a compound? Right? I love this. A lady bent over talking to someone in a car. Oh, wow, admin, Dr. Joy Godwin is saying you are not allowing her to unmute. Please, admin, you need to help me. When I say to someone to unmute, kindly help them unmute. How did you arrive at your conclusion? I want you to think about that for a moment. Because imagine this lady has $1 million to pay you to solve a family life problem. You already judged her. So you can see why many of us lose money. Because you have suddenly become a religious leader when you are supposed to be a family life practitioner. So you have moved in your head from being a family life professional who can help everybody into a religious leader who is looking at this lady and say, she's a prostitute. May snatch my husband, right? Okay, let's look at this one more time. Another one. What do you see? Who wants to help me? Let's see. What do you see? What do you see with this ones? Let me see what you guys are going to write. Oh, who is raising a hand or his hand? Anybody wanting to respond to this? I've given you guys expo now, right? What do you see? Ladies having a good time. Eh? Who else? What do you see? Girls' night out. Pageantry. Ladies in party. Okay, you guys have become wiser now. Okay, ushers for an event. They could be actors. Good. You guys are thinking now. What do you see?
May I speak now?
Please go ahead.
I wanted to comment on the first photograph you showed. I didn't see a prostitute. Yes. I mean, she could be dressed like that in her home. She could be leaning over to pray.
Good.
I'm sorry, but I didn't see a prostitute. She could be leaning over a couch praying. She's at home. She's allowed to dress scantily at home.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree absolutely with you. And this is the problem. We are very unidirectional in the way we interpret, but it's not your problem. It's the way we have been wired. We have been scripted to say things. Oh, these are sinners. But as a family life professional, your number one value is neutrality. Neutrality means your job is not to judge. Your job is to save people. And how do you save people that you have already judged? And this is the fundamental reason many people never make money, because they've zoned you as a religious leader. And so they're not coming to talk to you, even though they have money to pay. They are celebrities, they're singers, and they're performers. They have money to pay, millions running into dollars, but they're not going to give it to you. You know why? Because you have a stance of judgment. And so you look at this, you look at these other pictures, what do you see? Some people say they see refugees. You look at this, what do you see? Religious leaders. You know, all of these people, me, you know what I see? All of them are my clients. I see families. I see people that need me. That lady must have children. If she doesn't have children, she has a husband. She doesn't have a husband, she has herself. All of them are my clients. I'm a family life strategist. I'm a family life coach. I do not have a right to judge anyone. See, guys, the moment your interpretation becomes subjective and you are caught in the bug of stereotyping, your ability to build a profitable business becomes hampered because you no longer see human beings. Many of us don't see human beings. We see labels, and that's what we see. And you know what that makes you do? You lose customers and you excuse yourself from what they can pay you. So a lot of us, we say, oh, you know, I'm a family life coach. I'm a family life coach. But you're a Christian family life coach in your head. So Muslims are not your candidate. Muslims have family life problems. Hindus have family life problems. Buddhists have family life problems, right? But then you have excluded yourself from them. God told Abraham, through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed. All has got to be whole. Can you work with Chinese? Can you work with Indians? Can you work with Buddhists? Can you work with Hindus? Can you work with Muslims? Can you work with the people who are indecently dressed in your own opinion? Can you work with every and every? They have money to pay, but then you know why you are not earning anything? You are working with your people who are well-dressed, but they have money, nothing to pay. Because they tell you freely have you received, so freely give. Right? All these people are your clients. So the first deliverance I've done for you is, as you step out tomorrow, every human being you see that was born of a woman are your clients. They are, what did I call them? They are your client. Don't be caught in fact, the president of your nation that you don't like, his family is your client. His daughter will need to get married. They will need a counselor or a professional to work with them on premarital counseling. If they have marital crisis, they need you. But if you hate him, how do they assess you? You have tongue-lashed him and abashed him and turned him down on social media. How do they come to you? So you can see how you're losing money because you want to be opinionated. They are your client. You are like a doctor. Your job is not to say, a Muslim is coming, I'm a Christian, I'm not going to treat him. Oh, a Buddhist is coming. No. Your job is to save everyone. Good. So you need to create what we call a perceptual code. People perceptual code. Every human being that comes my way is worth a royalty. Regardless of how they look, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their behavior, if royalty is what you see, you will no longer get angry. And a lot of us lose out because that is the problem. We judge people. The biggest error in our world today is the error of assumption. We assume too much. But then what we say is all that you know is all you know. But all you know is not all there is to know. What you know is all you know. But all you know is not all there is to know. So you need to be humble to understand that there are people who are not from your culture. There are people who are not from your race. There are people who don't have to look like you. But then you've got to see humanity, man made in God's image. A family life professional whose knowledge base is skilled can cause more harm than good. And none is as dangerous as that family life professional whose knowledge base is skilled or whose worldview is messed up. Because when you sit on this seat and clients come in, what you must see must be humanity. I'll give you an example. A client booked a session, a couple booked a session to come and see me, and they've paid for their psychoanalysis session, clarity session, which was like $1,000. Then I was expecting 2 people. Guess how many people that showed up? 8 of them. I didn't know they booked as a couple, but it was a polyamorous relationship. And what was the situation? 2 people were married, then they decided to have more partners. And then they decided to explore. And after a while, now the original wife is upset. She doesn't want it anymore. And then those ones are heartbroken. My job is not to judge them and sit down and say, you guys are going to hell. No, I can see human beings who are hurting. My job is to take them to a place of wellness. And that was what I did. Now, by the time I was done, I had 2 other of them who were now breaking away from the relationship come back to me to say, Praise, can you coach us? Right? And so if you can engage, it's called contact without contamination. Does that mean I approve what they're doing? No. Right? Based on my own worldview, but my own worldview is irrelevant because at that point in time, what matters is saving life. And I was ready to save life. So when your knowledge base is skilled, you will eliminate and exclude some people from the people you can serve, and then you will not be complaining that I'm not making money, because all the people you can serve who are like you, they don't have money to pay. So you need to behave like God in a way that God sees everyone and he sends rain. Your solution is for the world. Your solution is not for a race, it's not for a people, it's not for a group, it's not for a religion, it's not for a culture, it's for humanity. Through you, all the families of the earth needs to become wholesome. So the question is, how skilled are you in handling the various problems in the family life sector? So we're going to do a short exercise, right? And so here's a reality check exercise. So I want you to draw this on your notepad, and you're going to answer the following question. 1, what is your desired family life practice result? If you can describe your desired family life practice result, what would it look like? How much do you want to make annually from your family life practice? Can you write that down? Let's say you want to make $100,000, $5,000, $50,000. Write it down in your sheet of paper. Don't put it on the chat box, please. Next question. What is your current result? What is your current reality? How much are you making right now? Can you write it down in your journal or your notepad or your workbook if you downloaded the workbook? What is your current report sheet? Now, I want you to look at your first result, your desired result, and look at your current report sheet. If your desired result is 100%, what percentage will you give to yourself based on your current reality as at today? So let's say you want to make $1 million or $10,000 or $20,000 or $100,000. And as of today, you have not made a dime. It means 0% is where you are at. Right? If you want to make $100,000 and you are doing $20,000, it means you're operating at 20%. What is your current reality result versus your actual? Right? What percentage are you operating on right now? I want to see your answer on the chat box before we go to the other questions. Let me see your current reality. What's your current reality? What's your result versus your actual, your percentage? Let me see. 0. Lina is 0. Thank you for being very honest. Let's see. 0. Jennifer is 0. Oh, wow. Let's see. 0%. 0%. 0%. 0%. 0%. 0%. Oh, wow. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. How come we have a lot of zeros in this class? Oh, wow. 20%. Okay. 10%, 0%. New today, so it's 0%. Okay. It's okay. Your answer is not bad. That's where you are, right? I will have a problem with you if after next year, you are still at the 0%. Right. Okay. So let me show you what is happening here. Now, you are not earning 0 by the design of the devil. It's not the devil at work. You are not at 0 because God is not good. No, God is always good. Forever and ever, He's always good. You are earning 0 because you did not plan to earn. It's as simple as that. We're going to be brutally honest. This is a practitioners forum. You are earning 0 because that's what you have designed to earn. 0. Now, but why are you earning 0? Now, this is where the problem is. What beliefs have you installed? And what templates are you using? And what is your competence, confidence level? So if you check, there are beliefs responsible for your 0. And there are actions responsible for your 0. So your life is supposed to be designed such that I want to earn $20,000 from this practice. What beliefs do I need to have to earn $20,000? And what actions must I take to earn $20,000? But the way your life is designed right now is designed the other way around, such that there are beliefs in your head that is sabotaging you. And you already know some of those beliefs. Oh, I'm a pastor. They will not allow, if I charge them now, they will run away. Oh, they will say I love money too much. Is there anybody who doesn't love money? I used to be there. I would think that people would think I love money, so let me be giving it for free. So who was paying for me? In fact, one day, I went to speak somewhere. They invited me. They asked me, what do I charge? I said, no, whatever you give me. By the time I was done, they paid me 30,000 naira. It was somewhere in Ikorodu in Lagos State, Nigeria. The road was so bad that by the time I got home, my mechanic came to check my car and they realized that the damage done to my car will I would need 180,000 naira to fix it. Now I have earned 30,000. They asked me, I said anything. So they gave me anything, 30,000 naira, but then the damage to my car is 180,000. So it means I had 150,000 deficit. Who will pay that? I didn't have money. My wife used to work in the bank. I begged her for a loan. So I got a loan to fix a car for a job I went to do. And I said, I was doing it for God. I'm sure God was shaking his head because in every labor there is profit. Right? And so one day my mentor looked at me and said, Praise, let me describe what is happening to you. You are like a man fetching water from a well with a bucket that is bigger than you. He said, very soon the well is going to fetch you in. He said, because you are pretending that you are okay. You don't need money when you are actually broke. So what is the problem between you and placing a charge on what you do? And so you know what I did? I now said, it was a tug of war. So he said something to me. He said, when you start to charge, he would separate those that need you from those that want you. He said, right now, everybody wants you, but they don't need you. He said, the people that need you will pay for you. And so this was my life that year. I could speak in 10 places in a month, sometimes 12. And my total money that I bring home from speaking in 10 different or 12 different places will be about maximum of 220,000 naira. Maximum, if I overwork myself, 220,000 naira. So when he told me, start charging, put a fee, it will separate those that need you from those that want you. That was what I did. And so guess what? The moment I did that, I did it afraid. I was afraid. Oh, will I still be blessing people's life? What of the souls? Blah, blah. The moment I did that, I'll tell you what happened. My speaking dropped from 12 to maybe 2 in a month. But those 2 were 2 people, 2 organizations who agreed to pay 250,000 for their session each. So I work twice in a month. I earn 500,000 versus I work 12 times a month and I will earn 220,000. I was able to spend more time at home, see my wife more, do a lot more. In fact, I was able to help humanity more. Right. So is your belief. So what beliefs have you installed? And I need you to write it down in your notes. There are beliefs you have right now that is producing that 0. What are some of those beliefs? Do you want to put them on the chat box? What are the beliefs that you have that you can call limiting beliefs, sabotaging beliefs? Do you want to put some of them in the chat box? Let me see. Right? Let me see. Let me see those beliefs that you know. This is the belief that is stopping me from charging. Freely have you received, freely give. I'm a Christian. Okay, good. Thank you very much, Luther King. I'm a pastor. Royal says, I am not ready yet. I'm not qualified enough. Imposter syndrome, I'm not yet married. I am not enough. Fear of rejection. Some of you even have the belief that because I went through divorce, I am not qualified. It's not true. The fact that a doctor's child died does not disqualify him from being a doctor. Family life practice is a profession. Your marriage can even break, yet you can save other people. I'm not qualified enough. I'm in ministry. What does ministry mean? Is ministry synonymous with free? Not true. Ministry is the word service. Business is product and service. They say I'm charging for God's gift. Now you are in this session, you are burning data. The data is not free. I'm not well equipped. I just love to impact lives. Okay, Wendy, I just love to impact life. I just love to impact life. Okay. The only problem is that when you get to the market woman is not going to say, I just want to impact life. Come and take a bag of rice. People won't pay me because of economic situation. You see, you are making excuses for them, yet in your country, people still throw parties. They still do weddings in a hotel. People are paying. I'm not married yet. I'm not well equipped. Says who? Do not mingle with pagans. Who defines pagans? Right? Your class teacher in school, is he a pagan? Is he a Christian? Money will come when it will come. You don't have to force it. Hallelujah. Okay, so and I'm loving your sincerity. Fear of the Africans don't know the value of coaching, right? I used to think that way, but it's not true. They know the value of coaching. Once you define your fees, people will go and spread it to shame you, but then they will spread you to the people who can pay you. Right. Thank you very much for your honesty. Now, the question I'm going to ask is, how many clients have you successfully assisted in the last 1 year? For those of you who put zero is what you have charged. Zero is what you have made. Can you put a figure to how many clients you have successfully assisted in the last 1 year? A simple figure, right? Conservative figure. Can you put it on the card box? Let me see. How many people have you helped that has come to you for family life advice or coaching or some 20 couples? Someone has helped 20 couples. In fact, if all you did was to analyze them and write their professional report, on each of those couples, you should have made $250. That's about $2,500. Well, 20, it's about $5,000 thereabout is what you have missed in there. You know, yeah, some of you have helped 3, some of you have helped 10 women, 5, but you have done it for free, right? And so the question is, how much were they willing to pay you to assist them with their family life problems, right? How much were they willing to pay? Or you didn't even bother to ask. The big problem is that many of us never bother to ask. So they assume that you are doing it for free. If you want to do it for free, there's no problem, but get someone to fund it. It's that you get partners or you get an NGO and get donor agencies to fund it, because nothing is going for free. Someone is paying for it. The time you are spending to analyze it, if you are spending with your children, they will be more brilliant. They will be better. They will love the fact that you are there. But you are not there for your children. You are not there for your family, right? And I'm not saying don't do things for free. What I have done is I collect money from the rich to serve the poor. So I have a not-for-profit, right, that serves those who can pay. But you see, my business is my business. My business is not for profit, right? Okay, so somebody said, I didn't ask. I just thought I was helping. And you are not wrong, right? So let me share with you 7 reasons why family life practitioners struggle. Number 1, profitability mental block. Can this work pay my bills? Freely have I received. Freely I should give mentality. You did not receive it for free. Please. To do this professionally, you're not going to receive it for free, because you will do certification. You are even on this call right now, and then you are paying for data to be on this call. So anybody who is saying, freely have you received, freely give? No, you did not receive it freely, right? Potential was given to you freely, but you developed it. So you are going to sit on the Zoom. You are going to rent a hall. The hall you're going to rent or the office space you're going to rent was not freely given to you, right? You are going to assume that every time you finish working with those people, you have to go and see your own therapist, because they have loaded you with their problem. You have to go for a session. How much will your therapist charge you? You did not freely receive it, right? You have to assume that you have to improve yourself by reading more books, because if there is nothing in you for them to pick, they won't come to you. You did not freely receive that. So can this work pay my bills? Yes, it paid my bills. It's paid, bought me a house. It's done a whole lot of things for me. So profitability mental block. Number 2, lack of creative productization or leverage, right? Many of us are busy, but yet to create any transformative solution that the market needs. Let me tell you, the market needs how to. I mean, I'm sure by tomorrow we'll begin to delve into the laws. You will see how this thing works. So many of you, you are just dishing out real advice. If you are a pastor, for example, and your members have come to you to say the same thing in 10 members have come with the same problem, run a series on it and put it on YouTube. If they can't buy it, the minimum they can do is to go and watch it on YouTube. The more your YouTube grows, the more you get paid. The more views, the more you get paid, right? I'm sure you know a pastor who lead prayers. And when they released the latest result from YouTube, they said he's the #1 content creator in Nigeria. You know why? Because people are logged on onto YouTube praying. I mean, I love him. He's my friend. I love what he's doing, right? And so the more people who are logged in praying because he's adding value, right? While adding value, YouTube is paying him. right? So if the basic you can even do is what you know, sit in front of your camera and put it on YouTube, and those people say we don't have money to pay, right? In fact, if you check my funnels, my funnel is such that you watch a 30 minutes video. By the time you finish watching the video, you click, you want to see me, you see a form. The form will ask you, how much do you have to solve your problem? If you say you have, it will show you $10,000. If you click $10,000, it takes you to a place. If you click $1,000, it takes you to another place. If you click 0, it takes you to a place. When you click that 0, it takes you to a place to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I would really love to work with you. But right now, it looks like we may not be able to work together. However, I won't leave you hanging. I have materials on YouTube. You can click here to subscribe to my YouTube. I have materials on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I tweet regularly. Follow me on X. I have materials on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. I have still helped you. But that you have nothing to give, I'm sorry. I can't help right now because I'm not qualified to be psychoanalyzing you for free. Right? And so you need to create your funnel. And so how to see, let me show you. One of the highest viewed videos on YouTube is how to kiss. The original one, I know there are so many how to kiss now. The original one was done by 2 children. Young people were just playing. I think they were teenagers then or in their 20s. They just say, oh, people don't know how to kiss. Let us teach them how to kiss. So they shot a video, how to kiss, and they kiss themselves. This is how to kiss. Guess what? In over a month, they've done over 10 million views. You know how much they made? Stupid money. So lack of creative productization or leverage is stopping many of us, from earning. Okay, let me see what Bempa is saying. Even though I have a degree in family counseling and did my MPhil thesis on infidelity in marriage, I always felt I needed more. And I needed to get a certain level in this industry before I could engage. Really, you have much more than you need already, right? It's confidence that you need. Number 3, obsolete and ineffective practice templates. How relevant are your tools, methods, and message today? How much do you trust them to produce the desired result? See, the days of sitting down as a family operational for customers to come to you is over. Now you go to them. How do you go to them? Reels, right? You need to shoot reels. 1 minute, 2 minutes, anything you cannot communicate in 2 minutes will not be consumed by your audience. The attention span is lower right now. Right? So you now need to go to them. And when they come to you, before they come to you, you can't be saying, so husband, share your own story. Some of them won't even come to you. Guess what we do? We deploy our psychometry, Oyela. When you deploy Oyela, everybody who uses Oyela will know it. I mean, Oyela. Now, if you're a newbie, it will take you 30 minutes thereabout to process Oyela, or 30 minutes to 1 hour. But in another 2 weeks, the AI version is going to be launched. And then, so it means we can accurately diagnose cases in 30 seconds, right? If you know how to use it. Now, you see, if your methodology is obsolete, you are still sitting and they are coming to meet you, you will sit forever. In fact, the highest paid family life coaches in America today don't even have any background in family science, right? And so it's about the relevance of your tools and how you communicate with your market. So if you have an effective practice template and you just sit down, you're just doing it for free, someone else is making $1 million because they know how to do the right funnels, they know how to promote, do adverts, they know how to promote their content online, and they know the language of the audience. That's number 3. Number 4, inability to master business systems. Many of us understand family life practice. We don't understand the business of family life practice. What that means is that you don't have scalable systems, structures, and strategy. I mean, if for those of you that came earlier, Juwan was sharing his testimony. Juwan got to class. And let me tell you, Juwan did not join the class for a long time. You know why? Juwan was my childhood friend. We played soccer together, right? So Juwan kept looking at me and he was like, I know him now. We played together. What can he teach me? He has nothing to teach me, right? And so he came for a class like this and he decided to register for the class. By the time Juwan joined the class, Day 4 of his class, we were teaching Oyela. Juwan went to apply what he learned in class to a client, and he made his school fees back on the spot. He came to class to come and scream to say these things work. If you don't master business system, you will know the theory. You will have a PhD, but you will earn less. I mean, I work with a lot of PhDs, some of them are my colleagues, and I see what they earn, and I'm like, you can do more than this, right? Some of them, I'm collaborating with them to do research. So there's what is called traction science. Traction science is you create and master your solution and trade. That's step one. Step two, you sound and focus your signal and ensure it's the best that exists. That's step two. Whatever you're selling, you need to sell it and push it out. You are not stealing. You are not prostituting. You are selling a solution. Why are you ashamed to sell it? Why are you ashamed to shout it out? There's a guy in Nigeria called Ndaboski. He comes out, I am Ndaboski. I am Pauze. I am everything he's saying does not make sense. Yet, the market is receiving him. Now, the market has paid for him to go to the UK. Now he's going to Russia. Right? And so, you need to understand this thing. Step three, attract and build a tribe of believers, right? And institute a training process for them. That was what I did. I had a lot of people, everything I knew, I taught them. The next thing is turn believers to evangelists, right? And place them on commission to say, what I know, you can do it, but come and do it, and this is what you get. I will pay you X, Y, Z for also selling it. Then convert evangelists to disciples. Build systems that gives disciples independent expression. You can't warehouse them forever. So let them set up their own thing, right? Then create a borderless system of subscribers, irrespective of where they are, which is virtual engagement. Some of you are in Malawi. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Some of you are from all over the world, right? But we are talking. Then attract subscribers and and allow disciples to manage them. So you grow your practice to a level that you don't even see people anymore. Your people are the ones seeing people. We have an office in Nigeria that serves Africa. We're about stepping into some other African countries, maybe in the next 3 months. We have, a contact person in Australia already. We're about opening that. We have UK and Europe. We have Canada, and now I'm in America, right? I don't bother about what happens in Nigeria at all because they run their own shop by themselves, right? So you need to basically build a business system that works. The business cannot just be you. And number 5, confusing family life practice with activism. Many of us make that mistake. Family life practice is not activism. We no go agree, we no go agree. So one day, they were going to protest against someone that raped someone. And then they asked me to join the protest. I said, I'm sorry, I cannot join the protest. And they said, oh, is it that you are not passionate about it? Come and join us to protest. They talked and talked. I did not respond. You know why? The rapist and the person that they raped, both of them need me. So if I join the protest to march against the rapist, how do I help him overcome the rape's tendency? Because if they put him in jail, which they're going to do, jail does not deliver him from the pedophilia tendency. He will need therapy, right? And so I'm not an activist. Some of you have become activists. You are always commenting on what is wrong on social media. And the people that can pay you are watching. They are looking at you and they realize that this person cannot be a confidential person. We can't keep a secret with him. Some of you are teaching. You are citing an example of people that came to you. This person came to you. You have not gotten permission. You are not telling your audience, I have permission to share this story. I know some speakers in Nigeria who, even their story, they are lying. And so I can't want to talk now and go and talk to that man. Right? So you are not doing a luta continua. Victoria Sata. If you want to do activism, you better get funding. I am not an activist. I want you to say that to yourself. I am not an activist. So when they say we need people to march against Kiniko, I'm not joining them. I wish you all the best. I can even donate, but I'm not joining you because my job is sacred. I am standing between the living and the dead, right? And so I cannot join you. And that takes me to number 6, practitioner low self-esteem. Who am I to teach anyone how to do marriage better? In fact, I was speaking somewhere last Saturday in Dallas, Texas, at a couples dinner, and they asked me, is there any template for marriage? I believe there's no template for marriage. I said there's a template for marriage, for doing marriage right, and I have it, right? And they looked at me and said, yes, I have it. And I teach people because, I have a model that works. Many of us have low self-esteem, and the esteem is imposter syndrome. You always think, I don't have enough. I am not enough. So you take this course, you take that course, you take the next one, you take the next one, and still something still tells you, so you are taking courses for the rest of your life that you have no time to practice. See, if I'm going to start my PhD, right? But if I don't do my PhD, I have more than enough to last me a lifetime. Trust me, and I'm not bragging, right? Because I do independent research. Last year, I wrote, I think, 12 research papers, right? Was what I published. Well, about 3 of them are yet to be published. And then 6 position papers, right? And it's not easy to do, but that's not even what defines me. Your degree cannot define you. I know PhD holders that if you offer them 100,000, they will jump at it. Who am I? Somebody will tell you, because you divorced, you are not qualified. I don't understand. So as a doctor, because I lost my child, I'm no longer qualified to be a doctor. Some of them will tell you, have you ever been married? Why would you know about, excuse me, the doctor that delivered your child when you were going to give birth? Has the doctor been a woman? Has he been married? Some things are things you study at school. This low self-esteem has robbed many of our finest professionals of the ability to raise their head, right? And so it is important for many of you to understand that you need to overcome that imposter syndrome to show up. And let me tell you, I'm not promising you that when you leave this class, you're going to start making big money. No, it is about consistency and intensity. You need to show up every day. When I started out, for first 5 years, nobody paid me a dime in Nigeria because they kept telling me, Praise, this thing is not going to work. It's a new field, and I understand it's a new field. Nobody was in that sector. People that were there were religious leaders, and so they told me it's not going to work. And I said to them, if I do it for 7 years and it doesn't work and nobody pays me a dime, I'll go back to paid employment. And I stayed in there. By the 6th year, people were ready to pay, right? And so it is important for you to know that if you start putting yourself out consistently, if it's every Wednesday, invite. Do it as if you're speaking to the whole world. Print flyers, invite people. Sometimes you are online and then, you only have one person watching. It's okay. You see, the power of intellectual property is that it cannot be lost. I have videos that I shot 9 years ago on YouTube. When I shot them, only 2 people were online watching me. Right now, it's been seen by maybe over 10,000 people, right? That thing is going to be there forever. In fact, I may not fully reap the benefits. It may be when I'm gone, my son, there's a guy called, what's his name again? Neville Goddard. He wrote a book, The Feeling is the Secret. When he wrote that book, it did not sell. But then guess what? Right now on YouTube, that book is one of the most listened to. In fact, when I work with clients, I tell them to listen to The Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard every day for the next 1 year, right? You know the guy that sang Gwa 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 Gwa, which became a dancing step. Some of us didn't know the man, but that song was written 40 years ago. Intellectual property never dies. You just have to keep showing up and keep recording. Number 7, certification without contextualization. Many of us are fixated and crazy about foreign certificate syndrome with no transformative solution. Many of the things you're going to learn in America cannot be applicable in Africa because the research was made by looking at American Caucasian and not African. Let me tell you, I have met Africans who have been in therapy for 7 years. 3, in fact, the first person I worked with in America had been in therapy for 7 years. And she said to me, Praise, if your solution does not help me in 13 days, I am dead. I said, I've never deployed it in 13 days. The best I've done is 13 weeks. I am sure it will work in 13 weeks. Said, Praise, I don't have 13 weeks. Can we do it every day? And then let's check 13 days. By the 10th day, she was totally free from what she was dealing with. She went to resign a job. Today, she's back to medical school. She's a 300 or 400 level student, medical school in Maryland. She's married right now. And then she looks at me and says, Praise, you literally turned my life around. So if you get certification upon certification without contextualization, and that is why we always say to people who work with Blacks and people who work with Africans, that family system engineering certification is your best bet, right? But even after learning it, you have to go out there and show up consistently. Now, I've given you 7 reasons. Which one of them can you easily relate with? Which one do you think is your number one reason why you're not making money? Can I see it on the chat box? Right? What's the name of the book you mentioned? The book is titled The Feeling is the Secret. It's very applicable to white folks. Yeah. The Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. Okay, imposter syndrome. I'm not enough. Yeah. So let me see which one is the reason. Okay, keep them coming. So I'm going to round up shortly because I must not keep you beyond your time. Right. The root of a struggling practice are self-sabotaging beliefs that every high-performing professional has uninstalled. And so you need to know that there are beliefs sabotaging you. And until you uninstall them, you are not going to make a headway in this practice. So here are 6 limiting beliefs that can sabotage the progress of a passionate family life practitioner. And this is where I'm going to end today. We'll continue tomorrow. Now, number 1, you need to understand that, you see, whatever result you are getting today, your present result is as a result of your beliefs and your action. So we call this more or less the triangle of life. We use it in therapy a lot. So it starts with, what result do I want? You need to write the result you want down. And so I do goal scoring for people. So the result I want is that I want to make, let's say, $10,000 this year. You have never made any money before. I want to do $10,000. What's the equivalent of that in your currency? Write it down. What beliefs must I have to produce this result? Part of the beliefs I must have is that there are lots of people willing to pay me. In fact, life brings me in contact with high net worth individuals who are willing to pay $1,000 for what I do. Then what action must I take that can produce this result? My action will be, I'll dress properly every day, create a super background, right? Plan what I want to teach, and I'll go on YouTube or I'll go on Instagram Live and I'll teach it every day at the same time, right? And I'll build a community around it. That's a typical example, right? But you see, a lot of us, until you do a beliefs change, you can't get help, right? So we say that at the root of the struggles of many professionals are certain beliefs that if we don't uninstall, we continue to sabotage their efforts to help people create change. Number 1 belief is family life practice does not pay well, right? It does not pay well. So let me stay with my banking job. The director of studies at the institute, her name is Dima Nwobi. You will meet her tomorrow. Dima was in my first set. Dima was still in the bank. It was during one of the activities that Dima put a date that she was leaving the bank. When Dima was graduating, her husband came and bought juice for everybody in class. You know why? He said to me, since we've been married, this has been the best week of our life because my wife was so happy coming to class. By the time Dima left banking, her husband literally passed her to me and said, please, let her be resuming in your office every day. Don't pay her. Let her just be showing up. And that was how Dima came to the office. Dima is one of the highest paid family life professionals today, right? Mommy Mo is one of the highest paid. Mommy Mo is 68, I think, right? So she started her practice pretty old. But Mommy Mo is one of the highest paid today. So this thing pays well. I do nothing else. This is all I do. And so I know it pays well. Number 2, believe that you need to uninstall family life practice is a gift from God and cannot be learned from any school. These limiting beliefs are sabotage the progress of a lot of professionals who could have done better. So they have the gift and they are the ones creating trouble all over because their practice is not built on any research, it's not scientific, and it's not evidence-based. So they are the ones who tell people, you get miracle husband. You can get a miracle husband and he will beat your life and he will mess your life up. I know someone like that. You will get your husband in 7 days. A guy showed up, married him. He became a wife beater, almost messed her life up. I handled that case, right? And so, yes, it's a gift from God, but then your tools, you've got to learn them. How do you psychoanalyze cases? How do you coach professionally? How do you pitch your proposal? I have proposals in some of the top schools of the world right now because we want to collaborate with them on research, right? I have proposals with government because I know exactly what African governments needs to do. So I am consulting for some African countries already, but I want to consult for more. And so there is a way to write your proposal. There's a way to do your pitch deck. There's a way to package your knowledge. So yes, it's a gift from God, but if you don't skill up and turn your talent into skill, nobody's going to pay you. So this is another belief that has sabotaged many people. Number 3, you cannot be a good family life professional if you are not married or if you are divorced. In fact, in America, the best family life coaches, or well, let me say the highest family life coaches are mostly divorced people. Right? Are you shocked? So it's in our environment that people expect you to be married or to be happily married before you can help people. It's a knowledge game. You have the knowledge, and you can have the knowledge and it's not working, you're married, because it takes 2. You can do the best you can, and then your partner is just a very bad person or a very dysfunctional person. There is nothing you can do to salvage him. Right? So if your marriage gets into a divorce, it's not because you are wicked or you don't know how to take care of a home or something like that. No. And so some of you are here, you are single mothers, you are single parent, you are looking down on yourself, or you are married, and Miracle is one of the highest paid professionals today in Nigeria. Before Miracle finished his master's clinical psychology, Miracle was already earning big. Miracle was the youngest in the class when he took family STEM engineering certification. Toby Bello is a social worker right now. Toby Bello is doing extremely well. Toby Bello is unmarried. Miracle is unmarried. So you have lots of people who are unmarried. So don't let anybody gaslight you and talk you out of what you really, really love to do. Right? And so, number 4, all you need is a foreign certification for your practice to be recognized. I say it with all boldness, with my hands raised, I have no foreign certification now. But guess what? I work with foreigners. I work with whites. I've worked in 5 continents of the world right now. I mean, there was a day I did a session in Australia, then I did one in Ireland, right? That's Europe. And I did one in Lagos, Nigeria, then I did one in Canada. Same day, 4 time zones. By that time I'm done, that day, my life was already not my friend anymore, right? And so, you see, you can add from a certification from Harvard and be bereft of ideas. In fact, let me shock you. I know people who have no certification, but they are making a lot of noise on social media, and people are going to them for money. I mean, I was talking to one of them, and she said she's a therapist, and I said, really? And I said, what do therapists do? She said, when they come to me, I give it to them all. I tell them what they should be doing. I said, no, because as a professional, your client must never be able to quote you. Even as a coach, your client must never be able to say to you, this is what my coach told me to do, or something like that. And then I said, no, that's not how these things work. Oh, so that's what I've been telling. I said, you're an activist or an influencer at best, right? So when people tell you, you don't see Africans, we must begin to tell people that we are human beings. I mean, I tell my colleagues out here, I said, you guys assume that marriages don't work in Africa. Our marriages work much more than yours. So don't think we have nothing. The only problem is that we have not packaged our knowledge the same way you guys have packaged your knowledge. That's the difference. Because marriages, I mean, if every certification in America works, why is it out of every 2 marriages, one we end in divorce? Why? If it's working, why would 1 out of 2 we end in divorce? Right? It just means that it's not working or something is wrong. And so it doesn't matter where you got your certification. Just ensure that the methodology is right. Just ensure that your psychometric tools are very good, and ensure that the model and the framework you're using, how you write your report and how you plan intervention is on point. If your certification can provide that, I'm okay with it. You don't even have to do mine, right? Or the one in the institute, right? Just be sure that it can accurately help people. But I usually recommend family STEM engineering because it combines 4 models into one. And that takes me to number 5. You don't have enough capacity to help others. Who am I syndrome? Who are you to help old people? See, I'm now 46. When I started helping people, I was in my 20s. So I put in 24 years in this field now. right? And I'm looking back right now, and I feel a bit of, I mean, it's nostalgic to say that when I started, you know, I've had to literally create the pathway for people, right? But, you know, one thing, even in the early days, you couldn't take away from me, from my head, was the belief that I was the best that existed in the world. I always had that belief. I always had that. That's why my colleagues, you know, in America, when we meet and we're sitting, you know, in our conferences, they're like, no, get praise to do this. You need to get praise to do this. I mean, I'm collaborating with the Family Life Coaching Association in America on a new book they are doing, which is a book for family life coaches. I'm writing a chapter in that book, right? And this is me, right? My certification is from Africa. So you need to understand that you are good enough. If your model can help people, you're good enough. Don't look down on yourself. Because even with all the certification, if you still look down on yourself, you're not going to go anywhere. So you don't have enough capacity to help others. Who am I syndrome? You're more than. Number 6, you need a lot of social media followers to attract enough paying clients. It's not true. It's not true. I know someone who is not on social media, but got 2 jobs in a year, and those 2 jobs gave her over 35 million. She wasn't even making any advert. She was just in the right place at the right time, right? Depending on who you're working for. I mean, I have maybe 49,000 followers on Instagram. How they followed me, I don't know, because I'm not doing anything extra, right? But there are people who have 100,000 followers, but they can't convert. It's about conversion. It's about, so for example, you can go and join a co-club or join Rotary Club and become the family life coach in there and tell everyone, I don't tell people I'm a family life coach. I tell people I help your life better. I help you become a better person. I help your relationship attain wellness. I tell them what I do. Then they say, how do you do that? And I say, well, number 1, I first psychoanalyze you to know the current position of things. And I can do that and send you the report. And they all are eager to take my report. It's $250. Then by the time they take the report, they're like, what do we do? In fact, there was a man who thought his marriage was okay. By the time I sent his report card, his wife was on 15, which means he was in a state of coma on her way out of the marriage already. Meanwhile, I was still bragging that marriage was good. The guy came to me and said, Praise, I can't afford to lose my home. How much? By the time we look at it, it'll take me about 3 months to work with them. That's about $5,000 or something. He was willing to pay right on the spot. So you don't need a lot of followers, but you need to be active. Followings are good. If you can build communities, fantastic, because then you have an easy place to sell to. However, let me say it to you. These are mental blocks that you have. Now, I want us to do a quick process and I'll release you to go for today. I want you to write your biggest limiting beliefs on your sheet of paper right now. What is your biggest limiting belief? Can you write it down on your sheet of paper? Your biggest limiting beliefs. Do you provide templates? Yes, we provide templates in class. What's your greatest limiting belief? Can you write it down on your sheet of paper? The limiting belief that is sabotaging your best interest in this sector. Can you write it down? Tomorrow, we are going to teach you 5 of the 10 new rules of family life practice. You don't want to miss that session. I mean, it's going to be lit. If you thought you had anything today, wait till tomorrow. But I'm going to give you an assignment that you have to do before tomorrow. Right? I want you to look at the belief, right? And ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Is it giving me the result I truly want? Is it serving you? Your answer is either yes or no. What is this belief already costing me? Can you write it down? 5 or 4 things or 3 things this belief is already costing. How is it already costing you? How is it costing you? Good. How is this belief affecting your loved ones? How is it affecting your loved ones? This belief that is not making you earn what you should earn. How is it affecting your loved ones? Maybe what you're earning could have taken them to Hawaii for vacation. Can you answer that question? How is this belief already costing you your esteem? How is it affecting your esteem? I need you to carefully answer the question. How is this belief costing you, affecting your dreams for life? Fantastic. If you continue to hold on to this belief, where are you likely going to end? I want you to answer that question. If you continue to hold on to this belief, where are you likely going to end? Now you are questioning these beliefs. Fantastic. Good job. Now, what beliefs do you think you need to replace these old beliefs with if you are going to get to the result you really want? What belief do you need to replace these sabotaging beliefs with? Can you write your new beliefs down? I want you to look at that new belief. Who will you become if you embrace this new belief? Who will you become if you embrace this new belief? What will you be able to do or produce if you embrace this new belief? What result will you produce if you embrace this new belief? Now, I want you to look at this, your new belief that you now want to embrace, and ask yourself, what 3 steps can you take between tonight and tomorrow to reinforce this, your new belief, to show that this is the new belief you now have? What 3 steps must you take in the direction of the result you want to reinforce this new belief that you have? Can you write those 3 steps down? In fact, if you can put your 3 steps on the chat box, I would appreciate it. What 3 steps must you take between now and tomorrow to confirm this, your new belief, and to reinforce it? Never forget that your old belief came from somewhere. Your new belief must now be reinforced by your new result. So what 3 things will you do between today and tomorrow? Someone is saying, can we start an office in Ekiti, Southwest Nigeria? I'm a counseling psychologist. Yes, we can start an office everywhere. Okay. Amotola, I hope you're on the call. You can respond to that person or put your number there so that they can reach you. All right. What 3 steps will you take between today and tomorrow? Dr. Joy, you can talk to the admin, and then they'll talk to you off record, off the stage. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. I want to believe that you are more than able, right? And so this is what is going to happen. You want a new result, you have a new belief, you have new action steps. So I want you to go ahead, your new beliefs, can you write it down? The new beliefs you have, you can use this triangle. Can you write your new beliefs down? Then what result do you want that beliefs to produce? Write it down. Then what are the 3 steps you need to take between today and tomorrow? Can you write it down? You know, using this triangle. Okay, fantastic. Somebody is saying your action point, work on my mindset, be proactive. You already, your belief is your new mindset. Okay, so you can work on that tomorrow. So I need clear steps, right? So for example, if your old belief is that, you know, I'm divorced, so I have no right to counsel anybody, right? Your new belief is that I'm a professional, right? And my divorce has nothing to do with my professionalism. I can save lives. That's your new belief. I am here to save lives. So what are the 3 steps you need to take to become known as a family professional? I will go online, and I will write something on how your marriages can work, right? 5 steps to making your marriage work. I'll post that. Then I will also maybe shoot a short video on my phone, and I'm going to post. Those are 3 steps that reinforce that you are more than enough, right? And so those are the things I need you to do. I need specific action steps that you must do between today and tomorrow. I love Diamond. Says, define me by what solution I bring. Make noise about my knowledge, pound my knowledge, and join empowering community. Fantastic. Those are good steps, right? My new belief, let me see. I'm loving what I'm reading. Guys, I'm still going to let you go. Family life practice is enough to pay me and pay me well. So what are the 3 steps you're going to take to show that I can pay you well, right? Maybe you will need to hold a webinar, right? Free webinar, and you teach people and you upsell them into some classes and things like that. Fantastic. Well done, guys. So at this juncture, I'm going to give you an own play, so don't go yet. We run Family System Engineering Certification Program, and we've run 2 streams already this year. The final stream starts September 20th. I hope I'm correct. September 20th, the final stream for the year. It's going to run for 13 weeks. You're going to learn everything you need to know, but not just everything you need to know. You're going to belong to a community of the best practitioners in Africa, right? Every challenge you're having, they're going to resolve it in that community, and they're going to handhold you. You're going to be able to collaborate. You're going to be able to work with people. You're going to be able to make money from the platform. There are people who will teach you stuff that you need to know. But the first thing is the model, the family system engineering model framework. You're going to be able to psychoanalyze cases in 15 minutes, 96% accurate. So you want to join that class? It's cost $500,000, 500,000 is the certification cost. This is what it's cost. Yeah, I hear your mind again, limiting belief. It's too expensive. No, ask yourself, how can I afford it? That's the question I started asking myself. And that's how I've been able to afford every courses I've taken, right? I no longer say it's expensive. How can I afford it? So it's 400,000 for, if you're in this class, you want to pay one time 400,000. If you want to spread your payment, you want to pay twice, right? It's 450,000. So they're going to put the links on the chat box. I need you to know we need 1,000 people every year to transform Africa, and you have to be in that class. So go ahead and sign up. $500,000 is the original price. That price goes up from January. This is the final class for the year at this price. So if you're in this class, you want to pay once, it's 400,000. But if you want to pay twice, it's 450,000. You can pay twice. But I will tell you this. If you're paying in dollars, I think it's $500 for now. That class in America, because we're doing the American class from January, is going to be about $2,500 because it's coming with a framework for premarital and then some other stuff that we're going to add to it for the ones in America because it's becoming bespoke. But think about it for a moment. And I bet you, see, if you take this class and after 4 classes, you think the class was not worth it, I'll personally refund you. I can, on my honor, I will refund your money. Everyone who has taken this class will tell you it's too cheap for the quality they got. I mean, the last set, I gave them when I was taking them their model, I gave them a class I will never give for free. That class that I gave them for free, if you convert the fees, it was about 350,000 naira. I gave it to them as pro bono in class because I needed them to understand something better, right? And so the support you're going to get is worth much more than you will ever get paid. So ask yourself, how can I afford it? It's fully virtual. You don't have to travel. You're going to be joining class and review classes every Friday. You don't have to leave your home, and you are going to get all the support. You are going to get a lot of tasks to do. We're going to put you in a community. You're going to get mentors. So you don't want to miss this. So here are your own plays, right? Before you go, you need to do this before tomorrow, right? Number 1, you're going to write a personal commitment statement to yourself on the future of your family life practice, the value you will bring, and how much you will get paid. You need to write a personal commitment statement to yourself on the future of your family life practice, the value you will bring, and how much you will get paid. See, these things work like magic. I know people wrote this in class years ago, and they told me, now they see me, they say, Praise, you know, I didn't even know how it happened. Number two, what is limiting your capacity to operate at the highest level? And what are you going to do about it? What is limiting your capacity to operate at the highest level? And what are you going to do about it? So those are your own plays. You want to do this before tomorrow. But also, I'm going to add a thought. You can go on social media and write your experience. You can invite your friends for tomorrow's class. Write your experience. You can tag IFED Academy. You can tag at IFED Academy. And you can also tag me at I Am Praise for Owe on Instagram, on Facebook. Tell your experience. One thing you learned in class today, and you tag me, right? I can't wait to see you in class tomorrow. So, and I can't wait for you to sign up for this course. We're going to be sharing with you the 5 of the 10 rules of family life coaching. Don't miss tomorrow's session for anything. How many of you are coming to class with me? Can I see yes, 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 yes? Let me see how many of you are joining the last stream for the year. Fantastic, fantastic. I'm clapping for you. We're going to save Africa together, and we're going to save our world together. I make a commitment to support you and to ensure that all you need, you get. Right? If you are from any African country, we're going to set up in your country. You are going to lead that movement in your country. You're going to be the highest paid in your country. We'll build your confidence and ensure that everything you need is made available. That is what we do so well. We've done it consistently, and I can't wait to see you in class. So sign up, and I'll see you tomorrow by God's grace. On this note, okay, I can see my brother. This is my sister now, Rendolph Bempa Owusu from Ghana, Kwaba. We will build together. I mean, Africa is going to be borderless. We don't care what our leaders have done. We're going to rebuild Africa together, hand in hand. Hey, Nelson from Liberia. We are my African people. I'm loving you guys. I'm loving you guys. Someone is asking, what's the difference between the certification and, Cameroon. Kosi from Cameroon. We have about 4 practitioners, or 5 of them. In fact, the first international student we have came from Cameroon, right? So thank you very much, Kosi, for joining. Invite your brothers and sisters. Zambia, Lina, good to see you. Good to see you. Someone is asking the difference between parenting. Please send a DM to admin. They will explain it to you. We have 3 certifications in the institute. We have family system engineering certification, which is the most robust part of it. It gives you a lot of benefits. You can morph into anything. Then we have the parenting certification for those who want to specialize. And then the teen certification for those who want to work with teenagers. You know, there are different certifications, but I recommend strongly family system engineering certification for you if you want to just start and you want to be robust across board. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll see you in class for the final stream for the year. I'm going to hand over to Sandra at this juncture, and I hope I've done a good job. We are Africans, and we're going to transform Africa. Over to you, Sandra.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Of course, you always do an amazing job. Thank you so much, PF. Who can feel the heat in the room? I mean, it's so hot in here, and I am sure you have all had an amazing time. This has been such an eye-opening session. Please, I want us to show some love to PF, the Grandmaster of Family Life himself. Let's see your comments in the chat. Everybody's asking, how much is the course going for? I hope we're going to see you in class. Please, let's keep the chat buzzing. Thank you so much, PF, for coming with so much energy once again tonight. Thank you. If you found this session insightful, you found it revolutionary, you found it eye-opening, it was a game changer for you, let us know in the chat. You have not even seen anything. Come back tomorrow and you would get the icing on the cake. And please, in fact, don't even take our word for it. This is better experience than said. I mean, you have heard a few testimonials, and there are so many people who are a testament to what PF has said. Honestly, this is going to transform your practice, not just your practice, your life. Because the tools you're even going to be working with, you would use them on yourself first. So I want to encourage you to come back tomorrow, come spend 2 or 2 hours, 30 minutes with us, and you will understand what exactly we're talking about and much more. I want you to take advantage of the discount that you have. You can actually, get in at a discounted rate. Do not wait. Do not overthink it. Do not say, why does it cost so much? Trust me, what you are going to be earning after you go through this course is going to be way much more than you have paid. All right. So I want to encourage you. This is me doing my own favor now to you. I am telling you, come and join. I know where I was and I know where I am now. So please make it a date with us tomorrow. We're going to have our principal, director of studies, Dima Wombi. She'll be talking to us tomorrow about 5 of the new rules of parenting. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much. Thank you, PF. Thank you to every one of you who have stayed with us from the beginning to the end of this webinar. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I am your host, Sandra Oluwadare. It's bye for now. Yeah, you can leave your questions in the chat about the program, how you can sign up. I think the links are in the chat as well. You don't even need to wait, till tomorrow. You want to pay, you can start paying now. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. It's bye for now. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. I see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.